Hello! It's been so long since I filmed a YouTube video and I really miss it, and I'm excited to be back and hopefully will post more frequently. Today I'm going to be reviewing a video, this video, that was published and filmed on May 3rd, 2017. So it's almost been 4 years. Yeah. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to get into watching this video. Oh, I'm so nervous.
Hello, my name's Arrow. I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm non-binary and trans, and I just wanted to make a video about going on testosterone.
I just I look so different. I'm like a little baby Arrow. Also, it's so interesting to hear my voice because for a long time I really tried to alter my voice to be deeper so I could be read as more masculine, and that became my norm for a while, but it wasn't my authentic actual voice. And now that I'm on testosterone, I feel comfortable just speaking, and so not only does it feel natural just to speak because I'm not changing it, it's also it sounds natural because I have euphoria around my voice now and it feels right. And it's so interesting to hear me because I'm that didn't feel authentic when I was speaking like that. I was doing that for other people so I could be perceived in the way that I want it to be. Yeah, okay, sorry, yes.
I've wanted to go on T for a while. I have thought about it a lot. When I first started realizing I was non-binary, I definitely felt a lot of top dysphoria and was sure that I want to get top surgery, but I wasn't sure. I really didn't think that I would go on testosterone. So I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll have top surgery and then I'll see how I feel after that and if I still want to go on testosterone. Because I wasn't sure if my feeling of my desire to go on testosterone was motivated by not feeling trans enough, or if it was motivated by my dysphoria that could be relieved from having top surgery. So I wondered if having top surgery would get me to a place where I felt okay enough and I didn't need that. And I still wonder that, but now I'm not as sure.
Okay, so yeah, I remember that this is something that was really important to me. It didn't work out that way. I still wanted it to for a while, but I had been pursuing getting top surgery and continuing to run into barriers and having to jump through all these hoops and continuing to hit all these barriers. And by the time I had the opportunity to go on T, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care about waiting anymore. I knew that it was the right decision for me enough that I was able to be okay. I was also kind of able to frame things in my brain of okay, if I go on T and it doesn't feel right, then I can stop. And I already knew that the things that would be permanent, I'd be okay with. And I ended up really liking the things that were permanent. And I don't want to stop. I've continued to be on testosterone.
I haven't had that much body dysphoria that would be fixed with going on testosterone, other than, hip dysphoria, it would help with that. I haven't really had that much voice dysphoria, but I have had some of it.
I was lying to myself. Yeah, no, I definitely had more dysphoria around certain things that I didn't realize. And I think I didn't realize it because I was so focused on my top dysphoria. It was such a bigger part of my life. But it was interesting because when I started going on T, I started to have euphoria about things that I didn't expect to. I remember having so much voice euphoria and having euphoria about my face shape and realizing, oh yeah, no, something hasn't felt right for a long time and I didn't realize what it was, and it was the way that my face looked. And Then I like saw myself in the mirror one day and I was like, that's me. That looks like me. What? You know? And sometimes my body hair makes me happy. Sometimes I don't like it, especially my facial hair. I go between feeling confident and cool and sexy with it and then hating it and feeling like gross. Um, I also don't really grow, like, I can't grow a beard. But like as far as like chest hair or my happy trail, like I like them and they make me feel good. And I wasn't expecting that. I'll probably talk about that in this video.
You know, I know going on T would help with those things, but I'm worried about, you know, other things like body hair and facial hair being too much, and I'm worried about
There we go.
I'm worried about ending up looking too masculine or being uncomfortable in the social roles that I'm going to be filling, because I know I'm not a girl at all. There's no part of me that's female, and I'm very sure of that. But, you know, there's not any part of me that's male either. So, um, you know, right now I'm really uncomfortable being seen as female, but if I were to go on testosterone, would I be uncomfortable with that too because I'd be being seen as male?
Yeah. So I don't feel like I look too masculine, but it is unfortunate that this shift that I was talking about being afraid of happening has happened a little bit. I've definitely come to a place in my life where, I mean, currently I don't really interact with very many people at all. I'm very much kind of a hermit at this point in my life. But before that happened, I would surround myself with people who were very understanding of my transition and would refer to me correctly. But yeah, so that happened a lot more. I had more community. I was getting misgendered less in general, but then I did find there was a switch where people would start misgendering me more as male, and some ways that I liked that because then it was kind of evening it out, and I do still get misgendered as female sometimes. There also has been times where there's been people who are like, but you've medically transitioned, so you obviously must want me to use he, him pronouns, even when you say you go by they, them pronouns. And I try not to have those people around in my life, but I have encountered that. And I've also encountered some confusion around being like, hey, you're non-binary. What? Why did you do these things? And I've been able to have those conversations, and that's been okay. I think there's been a lot more non-binary people who have medically transitioned, and I think that there's been a shift the last 3 years in what people perceive non-binary as, and also just more people know what it is.
I mainly just want it for like strangers and interactions with stuff because I'm so sick of being referred to with she, her pronouns, and I'm so uncomfortable with being seen as female, and like I hate it. It's so wrong for me. I'm more comfortable with being referred to as he, even if that's not quite right either. So, you know, that would help. If I were to go on T, it would help because I'd be seen as male more and female less, and that would make me feel a lot better. And I know that for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And I do still feel more comfortable being misgendered as male, but I don't identify as male at all. I think it's just, it validates my trans identity and it makes me feel a bit more like I have control over my gender. And also it flows more with the way that my gender expression feels comfortable. Like I'd rather be seen as like a feminine man than a masculine woman, but like I'd rather be seen as neither if I've given the option. I'd rather just be seen as me, as this genderless orb of energy. That was something that got a lot better with strangers and experiences with that. I felt a lot more comfortable in public since going on T. I feel like I don't care at all how strangers see me, and I have so much more confidence in my gender. Like it's just like, whatever. Like even being misgendered as female bothers me a lot less now.
But the thing is if I got to a point where I was only being seen as male, I don't think I'd be comfortable with that either.
That has not happened. Sometimes I get annoyed that that happened because I'm like, especially if I'm presenting super masculinely and I'm like, you know, in the way that I act and talk and dress, which I don't usually, unless I'm really lazy or going into an environment that's like, I don't really feel comfortable in. Like maybe a space that is like more conservative leaning, or just a space where I'm like more likely to be pushed into gender roles. But yeah, no, people still see me as female.
And I know there's things I can do to make it so I'm not only seen as male. Like I could start wearing makeup more often, you know, dressing more femininely, which I'd like to do too. It's another reason I want to go on testosterone is the presenting in more feminine ways, because like I right now I present a more masculinely than I actually am. Like I change things about my behavior and the things that I want to do to express myself. I limit that and change that into more masculine behavior because I don't want to be seen as female. So if I were just seen as more masculine as a base, and then I would be more comfortable and I feel like I'd be able to be myself more.
Yeah, this is like my favorite thing about going on testosterone, and it's definitely made me a lot more comfortable in my gender expression and in expressing my femininity. I'm not expressing as femme as I'd like to, but now most of the reasoning why is because it takes a lot of energy, and I don't always have that energy. Like putting on makeup and learning how to do makeup is a lot of work, and I have a lot going on in my life, and I struggle to do the things that I need to do to just like get by in life. So like I usually don't have the energy to do that. I started wearing dangly earrings lately with gemstones, and I've really enjoyed that and the way that that impacts my gender. And I do have some more feminine clothes I've started wearing. Like in the last couple of years, I've been experimenting with wearing skirts in the summer, and yeah, I really like doing that, and I really like it when I can feel comfortable being more feminine or just playing with different expressions of androgyny. I think a barrier though still is like, again, certain spaces that are feeling very gender role heavy, or spaces where I don't feel very comfortable being, especially like because I have social anxiety. Like there's a lot of situations where I'm like, I just kind of want to blend in, and if I look androgynous enough, like I'm going to stand out. And so sometimes that will affect, you know, like I'm like, oh, like, you know, times when I've wanted to wear a skirt, I'm like, if I go into this situation, how much anxiety will I have based on how other people perceive me, even if it's an outfit I really like for myself? And that's unfortunate, but transphobia is real, and it sucks, and it can be dangerous to be trans sometimes. So that is still a barrier for me, but I now feel more comfortable in expressing my gender.
But you know, I'm so worried about regretting it, and I'm so worried about feeling like I'm not myself and looking in the mirror and not knowing who I am and not really being able to change anything. And like, there's definitely a lot of permanent effects of testosterone, and if I regret it, what am I gonna do?
Oh, my little baby arrow self. You don't regret it at all. Like even if I wanted to get off testosterone now, which I don't, I wouldn't regret it at all. And you know, I talked about being worried that I'd like see myself and I wouldn't look like myself, but like I see myself and I look like myself and realize how much in the past I didn't look like myself to me, because I just identify with my image so much more, and it's wild. So like that definitely wasn't what happened. I mean, it's a very real worry. Like it's a big decision to go on testosterone, but like it's really comforting to watch this and know that I made the right choice. Yeah.
It changes how you interact with people. And what if how I interact with people changes and that changes who I am? And I'm worried about not being able to be involved in things like I care about, like feminism, and having my friends, because most of my friends are girls, feel less comfortable around me and not be as close with me as they are, or having trouble making friends.
Okay, so that's another point. Um, there was some shifting around how I've been perceived in certain spaces. I'm in a lot of feminist spaces now because part of my degree is in gender and sexuality. So, um, yeah, but I found that the fact that I'm non-binary usually makes me feel just as included. But there has been times where it's been like when I've been a bit more masculine presenting, and like it's been kind of difficult because I'm like, I do have a lot of experiences that are different. Like I don't have a lot of experiences that women have gone through because of patriarchy and sexism, but I also do have a lot of similar experiences, and I also have different experiences being a different type of gender minority. And it's been interesting to navigate that. That's definitely something that I think has been changed since I've been on T, but I don't think it's really gotten harder. Uh, and in regards to friends, my friends don't see me differently. They don't see me as a guy. Something though I will say is I have had a really hard time making friends since leaving high school. And a big part of that's just other aspects of me and like approaching people. It's hard to make friends, at least for some people, and I'm one of those people. And I don't think that testosterone has had very much of an impact on that, but I do think like there has been times when men have been more comfortable around me, or like there has been a bit of times where it's like there has been guys that are like, oh, like you understand what it's like to be a guy, just kind of giving off that vibe, and I'm like, no, I don't.
Or becoming less attractive or whatever.
I think I look more attractive. I don't know. I was attractive in a certain way then. But now I feel more confident in the way that I look. And I feel like that lends itself to being a bit more attractive. And also just like, I don't know. I like the way that I look more because I look like more like myself. But I don't know objectively, I can't say. And I think everyone is attractive in their own way. And I think that there are people who would have been more attracted to me then, and there are people who would be more attracted to me now. And I honestly, I don't want to care. I just want to care about how I feel about myself. And that has gotten better because of testosterone. And again, it's just my personal experience.
Like I go through my life and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to be on T. I can't wait till that happens. And like, I'm excited for those changes, but then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Am I going to ever do it, or am I just not ready? And I don't know. And I don't know how I feel. But it's something I really want. I'm just scared of it. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm scared of it because I think I'll regret it, or I'm scared of it because I'm scared of other people. And I don't know that yet. So I may wait until after I have top surgery, but I also don't know when that's going to be.
Past arrow, you're scared of it because you have an anxiety disorder. You have multiple anxiety disorders. Also because it's a big decision and it's a scary decision for anyone, regardless. So there's that. But I knew at that time. I knew it was the right decision. I was just afraid to really admit it to myself. But it's I know now. I did things when I was ready to do things, and yeah, I don't think I was quite ready to accept that that's what I wanted at this time because of all the things that I'm talking about that I'm worried about.
Also, it's kind of hard for me to access because there's one doctor in the town where I live who I know does that and hooks people up with testosterone, but he only works with people 18 plus typically. I have been out for a while and I am 17, but I'm not close enough to 18 to wait. I mean, I could wait, but I just had my 17th birthday a couple months ago ish. So, less than a couple months ago. So, I could try to do that because I've been out for a while and because I am more comfortable, but also because I'm non binary, he still might not work with me on that and talk to me about that. So, I don't know.
Eventually, I was able to get referred to that doctor. He was great about non-binary people. I had no problems with that part of my identity. I was still able to go on testosterone. And so this happened, I would film this in May. I ended up starting testosterone. Well, I met with the doctor in the end of August, and then I started testosterone at the very end of August.
But I don't know. I have to make the decision for myself first, and I keep going back and forth on it. And I know I don't have to make a decision now, but it also hurts because I go through my life and there's so many times when I know it would have been better if I was on testosterone. So I'm just feeling all this dysphoria and this social dysphoria, and I'm just really sick of being seen as female, and it sucks. So I don't know what I'm doing, but I just wanted to record my thoughts and how I feel now, so I have sort of a record of that, and I'll see what happens in the future.
I don't even have an outro. Oh. Also, there's someone who disliked the video. Rude. But yeah, no, I'm glad I recorded that, and it's interesting to look back and reflect on things. I love going through my old transition stuff and just seeing like the experiences, because it's so strange, because like I feel so far away from that, but it also feels very real. It's just like I knew how much like I used to think about every single thing that I did, and like so many things about how people were perceiving me, and now I just don't as much. Like I don't think about my gender expression very much, and when I do, it's usually an enjoyable thing, which is very different from that time in my life. So yeah, but I just wanted to film a reaction to that and talk about my experiences and how I feel now being like over 3.5 years on T and being 4 years since this video. Yeah, so yeah. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.